The boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, the boy whose tiny lunch fed a multitude. In a time when crowds followed Jesus from city to city, desperate for a touch, a word, a miracle, the people were hungry, not just for bread, but for hope, for healing, for a love that didn't judge them by their past or status. They followed him into the wilderness, away from the comforts of their homes, seeking something eternal. Among the thousands, unnoticed by many, was a young boy, just a child. He wasn't rich. He wasn't tall. He didn't hold any title. No one had invited him to the front row. He wasn't one of the 12 disciples. In fact, his name is never even mentioned in Scripture. But in his small, dusty hands was a lunch. 5 barley loaves, 2 small fish, packed maybe by his mother that morning, maybe leftovers, maybe a daily portion. Who knows? It wasn't much, especially compared to the size of the crowd. But it was what he had. The day grew late. The sun started to lean toward the horizon, and the rumble of empty stomachs echoed across the hillside. The disciples began to worry. There are over 5,000 men here, and that's not counting the women and children, they murmured. Should we send them away? We can't feed this many. But Jesus, calm, collected, compassionate, turned to test his disciples' faith. You give them something to eat, he said. Can you imagine the disciples' faces? They looked around. No markets nearby, no Uber Eats, no stash of food, just wilderness and need. Then came Andrew. He stepped forward, maybe with a shrug, maybe with a spark of hope. There is a boy here who has 5 loaves and 2 fish. But what are they among so many? Pause. Let that sink in. He almost dismissed the gift in the same breath. There is a boy here, but what is this really? It's nothing. But Jesus didn't see nothing. He didn't see small. He didn't see insignificant. He saw willingness. He saw faith. He saw a seed. Jesus asked the crowd to sit. He took the boy's little lunch into his holy hands, lifted it to heaven, gave thanks, and then he broke it. And it began. The loaves multiplied. The fish kept appearing. Basket after basket was filled and passed. People ate and didn't just nibble. They ate until they were full. 5,000 men, not including the women, not including the children. Every single person fed from one boy's lunch. But here's what makes this story unforgettable. That boy, that unnamed child, gave all he had. He didn't hold one fish back for himself. He didn't keep a loaf in his pocket, just in case. He gave it all. And what Jesus did with it was more than the boy could have ever imagined. We often wait to feel big enough, smart enough, holy enough, ready enough to be used by God. But God isn't waiting for perfection. He's looking for availability. That boy didn't perform a miracle, but he played a part in one. He wasn't the Messiah, but he met the Messiah. And his story became immortal. His meal became a message. His small offering became a symbol that when placed in the hands of Jesus, little becomes more than enough. There's a boy in all of us, a girl in all of us, a child with something small, a gift, a talent, a smile, a voice, a moment of kindness, wondering, is this enough? And Jesus says, bring it to me, because miracles don't start with much, they start with faith. So the next time you feel like what you have is too small to matter, remember the boy whose lunch fed thousands. And ask yourself, what's in my hands, and am I willing to give it to God?